Hello and welcome to Soloing the Stalker. I am Scrapperlock and this is City of Heroes. We're on the Homecoming servers and we're level 9. We've got our Assassin Strike. We've got some slots on our Assassin Strike, but we haven't hit level 12 yet to get our the first time I like to actually buy DOs. We have hundreds of thousands of influence because we've been selling just a couple of yellow salvage, which I think is totally worth doing, and we're on our story arc for Shauna Stockwell. So we're going to go ahead and talk to Genevieve and select that task. And we have some other missions I'm going to need to clear that I just have not felt like doing. And well, the Vajjalok one is absurd. I haven't been able to find a single Vajjalok in the single digits yet, so most of them are, even now, would be plus 2 or 3 to me, but when I took it at level 5, they would have been plus 6 or 7 to me, which is just preposterous. Even a level 50 wouldn't be able to do that in most cases, let alone a level 5. I really don't know what the devs were thinking when they made that mission. At any rate, our goal here is to shut down the Superardine Den, and so this is going to be an ambush, which means that our hide will not be able to help us once they ambush us. Now I have to zoom in so that we don't do too much camera jerk. And so I know this mission pretty well. I've played it multiple times, so it's... So what happens is Where's the last thingy? I thought I heard it. Oh, there it is. We're now going to get ambushed. Oh, I didn't bring enough inspirations into this mission. This could be really rough. Because these guys automatically see you. And so do the other guys. Hopefully a few inspirations will drop, because if they don't, we're going to have some trouble. Yeah, I should have probably stayed further back so that both spawns didn't show up right on top of me. Just taking a look around the corner there. Nobody's coming yet, but somebody will, I'm sure. Hopefully they'll drop some inspirations. There we go. Not the good ones, though. Although it's fine that we got some endurance. Anybody coming? Okay, we're just going to let them come to us. I don't know if they're going to see me or not. I think they will, since it's an ambush, but we'll wait behind the wall and see what happens. Oh yeah, they see me. Okay. They still let me do an Assassin Strike, which is pretty good. Yeah, so this is quite the high pressure ambush situation, and without the right inspirations... Whoa! Oh, we're getting attacked by a boss right now. That's not good. Because we have 2 more bosses to fight and no inspirations at all. I should have come in here with inspirations. This was dumb. I knew what this mission was, and I just forgot how bad the ambush became. Now, once we get done with these guys, I'm not sure if we can possibly actually Assassin Strike the others. We might be able to. Stop running away. You know, you ambushed me, and now you're fleeing. So let's see, do they see me? No, so these guys we can ambush. Oh, the number of times I miss after doing an Assassin Strike is just so infuriating. Because it's one of these things where, well, I could Assassin Strike and punch, and that would be the end of the character, and we'd be on to the next enemy, and then I miss. Look at this. 3 misses in a row at 73%, right? This is what drives us nuts as players. Certainly me. This is why people used to argue to the devs there's something wrong. I shouldn't miss 75% chance, 1 in 4 times 1 in 4 times 1 in 4. That is a 1 in 64 chance of happening, and it seems like it happens way more often than that. Okay, we don't have the inspirations we need, which is unfortunate. I'm going to have to try and pull this guy, because I can't fight him, and I'm probably going to lose, because I don't think there's any way to beat the 2 bosses with no inspirations. We're not getting any drops at all, really. We got a couple of blue pills, no enhancements. Now here's a question. Can I get out of here? So we might be able to cheese this a little bit, right? I still have to beat the bosses, but since I was dumb and I came in with the wrong inspirations, let's go out and get the right ones. Only a Stalker could do this, guys. Any other character would aggro those guys, but because we're a Stalker, this is why I say Stalkers are the best to solo, because since we're a Stalker, where's the hospital? We can go to the hospital and pick up what I need, which is at least 2 accuracies, because both of them are dark and they're going to do minus accuracy to me, and probably 3 lux. So there's our accuracy, 3 lux, and let's throw in a damage. So we're going to run double act, triple luck, 1 rage. So it's a bit of a cheat, but if I were doing what I was supposed to do, I would have walked into the mission with a tray like this. Because I know you need lux and accuracies to fight those last couple of bosses, and I just totally didn't pay attention to what my tray looked like as I came into the mission. I usually, keep my tray pretty good, like pretty much the way I want it, and so I just don't always think to look. I'm going to take 2 lux, wait a sec, and then after a few seconds put the 3rd luck on, so that if it takes more than the 30-second duration of the lux, the last one will still protect me a little bit. This is going to aggro those guys, unfortunately. There we go. So now we have triple luck for a little bit, and then we'll have single luck later. Okay, so we got her. That helps a lot. And we got a health from her, so that's good too. Yeah, these dark wielding skull bosses are quite tough because of that minus accuracy that they're doing to you. If you don't come into a mission like this with accuracies, yeah, we would have just been standing there whiffing. Okay, that gained us quite a bit of XP, and now we can go talk to Genevieve. And now talk to Shauna. And now Shauna's telling us that Emily Rodriguez has been taken by the skulls. So we gotta go get her. And I did it again. I went without the right set of inspirations. At least this time, I thought of it ahead of time. At this level, I think it's pretty important to have your accuracies, your insights, right? Because you can't be whiffing when you're fighting um, a couple of bosses. You just can't. Like if I just sat there and whiffed Maxilla the first 3 or 4 hits, I would have been killed. Right. The only reason we survived that is because I hit just about every time because I had 2 yellow pills running. So this one, I think, is going to be one where there's several spawns and then there's a boss that we're going to have to fight. I don't think it's too bad. So we talked to Vic, and he was a cop, and let's get moving. We're going to go rescue. He saw where they took her, and so we're going to go and try to rescue her. Take the super jump off. So this is a cutscene. These are newer editions. They were not in the original version of the game. This is Chernobog and Misery. Chernobog is going to leave, but Misery is going to stay behind to fight. Well, to deal with Emily Rodriguez, and then we're going to fight her. And then Chernobog is going to come in another mission or two. So they're going to kill Emily Rodriguez and all of these other captives. And Misery saying, hey, it's my pleasure to kill all these people. By the way, if you've ever noticed, in Paragon City... Hold on, before I say that, why am I attacking this guy? Every once in a while, if you assassinate a guy, these two might not notice if their backs are to you. They usually do notice, but every once in a while they don't, so it gives you a free assassin strike. Yeah, they noticed. So if you've ever noticed, there's something weird about Paragon City. There's a lot of weird things about Paragon City, but like I honestly didn't notice it for I don't know how many months before somebody pointed it out. There is something very strange about Paragon City. As you travel the city, you see the villains, you see the heroes, you see the NPCs, and there's something weird about the NPCs. And no, it's not that they just walk around when there's a crime happening down the street. That's all just programming and stuff. There's something weird about the population of Paragon City. If you've ever noticed, there are no children. No kids. Everybody in Paragon City is an adult. How can you have a city with no kids? And the question would be, why, right? It should be really easy to just shrink your NPC models randomly down, and it could be the same NPC model, and you just shrink it down, and it's a child, right? And the reason is that I guess they wanted to have a PG or something, whatever the equivalent rating is in video games, right? They wanted to have a low maturity rating so that kids could play the game, because they figured since it's superheroes, kids would probably want to play it. That is 3 misses in a row. Again, right? That's way more often than 1 out of every 64 times. So anyway, they wanted to appeal to children. You'd think that would maybe make them even put more children in the game, but the thing is, violence, portraying violence against children, even in a cartoony way like this, would have raised the maturity ranking, right? It would turn it, I guess, from a PG into a rated R game, or I don't know, I don't remember the video game rankings, but essentially, they didn't want to lose that lower ranking because that means fewer people would have access to it, right? Parents might not buy it for their kids for Christmas and stuff like that because it's got a mature ranking or a higher maturity level. And so that's why there are no children in City of Heroes. I know when I made up my first version of Liberty Lass, she was 16 canonically, but there wasn't any way to make her look 16, right? Because the bodies of the heroes all look physically adult. You could shrink her down, and I did make her a little short. And I do remember that one of the other players sort of talking and saying he thought it was quite funny that, because Liberty Lass was originally an invulnerability tank, and he said he thought it was quite humorous that, like, the tank, the toughest person on the team, was this like little girl essentially a little girl in a miniskirt, and she looked the smallest and the most vulnerable, but she was the one who could stand there. Why is it not? Oh come on. She was the most powerful, like, sort of the toughest one of them all, for sure. That is something that used to drive players crazy. They used to say, what is going on? And I don't know that anybody ever proved anything, but runners. I remember there was an accusation that somehow the runners got like plus 50 defense or something because it seemed like every time somebody tried to run and you attacked them, you always missed. And I think the devs said that no, that there's nothing like that. You're just noticing it, as confirmation bias or whatever. But oh, I gotta zoom in. Players have definitely accused them of rigging the rolls against the runners so that you can't hit them. Runners were considered among the most annoying feature of City of Heroes. It makes sense that the villains might run away, but on the street there were often missions where you had to rescue NPC hostages, the people who are getting their being mugged and stuff, and you couldn't rescue them unless you defeated all 2 or 3 of the spawn members, all of the enemies that had spawned to mug them, and a large number of times one of them would run, right, and they would run really far, and you're like trying to chase them down and you can't hit them. It seems like everything you try misses, and they were very aggravating. People did not like it. Eventually they took a bunch of the running out because players hated it so much. It still happens, but it happens way less frequently than it did at launch because players hated it so much. Alright, so now what we want to do here is pick apart these guys. I think we're going to need to pull here. I hate pulling as a stalker, but this is a trap. This mission is set up as a trap so that if you walk into it, you will end up aggroing like 3 spawns and getting crushed. So pulling makes the most sense here. Just brawl, I guess. Another miss. We definitely need to put accuracy enhancers on our powers when we get the enhancements to do it. Again, very few drops. Oh, we gotta get this spawn over here too. These guys we can just attack because I don't think will aggro anybody else. You have to ask yourself, with all the noise that this power makes, of the like that, you have to ask yourself, how come it doesn't unhide me? Like how come they don't notice the sound? What is that sound? Do you see anything? No, I don't see anything, but I hear a sucking sound. Ah, it's just your imagination. Bam. Okay, well, you don't have to worry about whether we're hidden or not here because we're just going to pull. And if you want to know why I'm using that instead of the Nemesis Staff, which does more damage, is because Nemesis Staff does knockback, and I don't want to knock them back when I'm trying to pull them. Of course, this Trank Dart isn't great for pulling either because it might put them to sleep, and then they don't come at you. But, now, as a Stalker, I think if we don't aggro these guys, we might have a chance to just move up and assassinate the boss. And that won't one-shot her, especially at this level, but it'll do a lot of damage. Now, I don't mind doing the knockback when it's a finishing blow, because they're gone and it won't aggro anybody. Okay. Now what I want to do is go after Misery. I should be able to ambush her. Right? Yeah. Let's make sure we can hit her. So you see, we already did half damage to her, and she's frightened. So that's awesome. I don't want to shoot her back, though. If we shoot her back, if we shoot her, we want her to go this way. The other guys will run when she's defeated. A few of them stay, but the rest of them run. You see how they're all cheering for me? We've finished the mission, so I could actually go out without beating up this guy, but why wouldn't we? We got our buffs going. And there we go. So this story arc is, since it's a newer story arc, the newer ones are tuned to be a little bit harder. There are a lot more bosses in them, and they're designed to try and whittle you down before you get to the boss. And so Stalkers, again, you know, I hate to beat the drum, but Stalkers are good because they can avoid getting whittled down. Okay, we're going to fight Chernobog, so we got to get more inspirations at the hospital. Chernobog, you really need the right inspirations for. I've never been able to beat him with any archetype without that. The right inspirations are triple Lux again to make sure he can't hit, and again I usually do the double and then about 15 seconds in hit another one, so you're under triple luck for part of the time, double luck for part of the time, and then when that all runs out you're at least under single luck. He is a dark dealer, so we're going to want accuracy as well, and I think I'm going to actually take an extra heal rather than the extra damage because we do pretty good damage. We're going to sell these guys. These are all below level, so or not from our archetype. So that's good. All right, we're ready to go. If I were playing single player, if I were playing a single player game, I would save it here, but can't save it. Let's see if we can get through this story arc without dying. All right, so we need to hold our inspirations until we meet Chernobog, because he is a tough nut to crack. I know the first time I went at him, I did not know how tough he was, and I didn't know what was going to happen, and I didn't have any inspirations, and he just owned me, if I remember right. I think that might have been Silver Phoenix. I can't remember if Silver Phoenix did this mission, because I might not have known about this arc when I played her, but I probably did do it, because they do kind of push you to Shauna Stockwell. By the way, those giant cranes, I was watching a video of a guy who works up in one of those huge tower cranes, and just like, it was a video of him just climbing down at the end of the day. Man, I would never be able to do that. I am bad with heights. And then I was watching another video of these guys who are working on a TV tower in Florida that's one of the tallest TV towers in the world. It's like 180 stories. And the one guy said, "Are you afraid of heights?" And the other guy said, "I'm not afraid of heights, I'm afraid of falling." Like, yeah, but I'm really bad with heights. I don't even like getting up on an 8-foot ladder. So now, one of the things I didn't actually try to do it here. One of the things I've tried to do in the past in this mission, and it might happen, is get us to the point where we level up. Now, just leveling up will make the mission easier, but a couple of times I was able to do it so that I leveled up, and while I was under the level up buffs, I was able to fight Chernobog, and so that makes it much, much easier. So the question then is, do I want to take these guys out now? Or is that going to make me level up too fast? Let's leave them. You've got to be kidding me. At least it didn't reveal me. That is really annoying when that thing misses. Okay, I'm not going to go in there then, if they're going to walk in there, because I'm trying to see if... What I'm trying to do is see if we can level up just as we get to Chernobog. Do you see that twice in a row on a 95% to hit? Twice in a row. That's ridiculous. Another miss. I feel like I'm missing like crazy with this character. And it's not like I don't have a good chance to hit. Now that's a nice triple hit. That was good. Let's back up. Because I'm taking too much. Oh crap, I walked right into them too. Alright, let's de-aggro. That was a blunder. That's because I left the patrol. So that was a mess. That was a mistake. Alright, got her. Should be able to take this one. And where'd this guy come from? Now the main reason this is a problem is because I'm saving up all my inspirations for Chernobog in case I can't get to him under the level up buff. But we'll see what happens. I'm missing like crazy. So the main reason I've been having problems is all the missing. I feel like I'm missing almost 50% here. I know it's not, but it just feels so miss-streaky. Where'd that patrol go? There they are. Okay. I'm tired of you two. Look at that, another miss. It seems to me, track it for me guys, but it seems to me like a lot of times I hit Assassin Strike, and then the blow after Assassin Strike misses. That's another 2 misses in a row. Right, when I do manage to assassinate them and don't miss, then it seems like I always get another miss right after that, so it leaves him with a sliver of health. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through here. We're going to see what's up, because we're getting only a couple beads from leveling. Okay, that's Chernobog. So we're going to work our way back from him, and we're just going to take out until we level, and then we're going to go fight Chernobog. So yeah, it feels like this is going to leave a sliver, and then the next shot would finish him, and a lot of times it seems like it misses. My guess is it's confirmation bias, so you know, you notice it when it happens and not when it doesn't. But it sure feels like it happens a lot. Notice it's taking more hits to take out yellow and white cons, and that's because since I don't have any enhancements on this character's powers, we haven't like increased our damage ability with the increase that's happened from the leveling of the enemies. So we're not like scaling up with them yet. That is deliberate on my part. I am not buying any enhancements at this level. Oh, is this going to be useful? That is a resist damage. No, it's not. We have defense, not resistance, as our set. Oh, I keep super jump on. No wonder I'm having problems with endurance. Another miss. Now, as annoying and frustrating as it can be to have to constantly throw in this Nemesis and Trank Dart, imagine launch where neither of those existed. Okay, so we haven't leveled up yet, but there are some more guys over here. So this is why I was cautious about coming in here. I just didn't know if it was going to level me up too fast, but it seems like it's perfect. Hopefully we will level up. I think we might. We might not. It might be that Chernobog will level us up. If so, it's fine. We have all these inspirations and it's no problem. But we're pretty close. We're really close. Ah, just missed it. Oh, there's one more bead. I was misreading that. Okay, so I don't think we're going to be able to level up before him then. Oh wait, there's more guys in this room. Maybe we can. They're yellows, so we have a shot. There's a couple of spawns. Alright. It's probably good that I missed that, because I don't know if I wanted to knock him back over there. Another miss. Look at that. Another miss. My guess is if this character dies, it's going to be because of that. The miss streaks. Right, where you come into a perfectly controlled situation and this is 87% to hit and I missed like 8 times. Look at this, 3 in a row. 70 to 80% chance to hit. I must have missed, what, 11 times or something just in these two guys? Look how long it's taking to defeat them, and it's not because of anything other than the constant missing. Very frustrating. What's this? Recharge? Put that on there. Well, let's rip these two off. Because these things are all out-leveled. You see how they're red? When they're red, you're too high a level for them. Can we please delete? Good lord. Okay. I guess we're not going to level up because we only have 3 more guys in here. Another miss. You see that? 2 misses in a row now. Yeah, if this character dies, it's going to be to miss streaks. Because as a Stalker, I can completely control what I attack when. But my assumption is that I'm actually going to hit 75% of the time, and I don't think I have been in this room. I think I'm more at like 50%. Well, we're not going to level up, so we'll just go find Chernobog. Where is he? Over here. Okay, so we'll level up at the end of this mission then. That's fine. We do have enough inspirations that we should be able to handle him. Now, the thing with this guy is you really need to focus on him and ignore all of the extras. If you can take your couple of lucks, that'll give you 25% defense buff. For this character, that'll give it more like 30 to 40% defense against most of the minions, although not really against Chernobog. And then you get your accuracies, get your damage, and then just you pour on the damage to him. Now, I'm not going to be able to do a regular assassin strike to assassinate him because he'll know where I am, but I can still use it to do the regular damage. But you want to fight him. You want to like focus on him and not the minions. He's highly resistant to the dark, I think. We got some crits on him, so that's good. He's also resistant to knockback, as you can see. I think we've got a chance at this. Ninth level is actually a little low to be fighting Chernobog, but we got him, guys. And we leveled up. None of these guys came to try and help him, which is interesting. Finished our first story arc, which gives us reward merits. And those are great, because we're going to use them to get our archetype origin enhancements later on. Contact Shauna Stockwell. Finish the story arc. Be introduced to a new contact. And we are level 10. I don't know what I'm going to get now. Let us clear that, and our super jump should be getting a little better. And we're going to go find our buddy Blue Steel. This, of course, is the Architect, where you can make up missions and other people can play in them and stuff. Apparently there are some pretty cool missions in here, but the few I've tried, unfortunately, were just kind of mediocre. So I then, I feel like it probably takes a long time of searching and trying to find the good ones, and I just never really had time. These are all 10th level and below, so we're going to get rid of them. Got a recipe we don't need. It's our first recipe, but we don't really need it because it's a low-level recipe. So here we go. Train up to a new level of power. What are we going to get? We don't need... Well, we could get combat... We could get combat jumping. Where's the detailed information? So that's energy. This is... Oh! Mez defense. Guys. Yes. I love Mez defense. Love me some Mez defense. Now we have our hold protection, and we shouldn't be able to be knocked back. It's going to eat endurance, because we have 3 toggles running now. Well, stealth, the hide doesn't use any, but it's going to eat endurance, but that's okay, because we can put endurance reducers on it at 12th level and stuff. We can turn it off if we aren't facing things that mez us, but that is awesome. And we now have 5 columns of our inspirations. And we can go to the university now. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll finish up. So the university is a tutorial for how to make inventions. You can do it at any point, but why not do it now? We'll get a level 10 accuracy invention. And those don't expire, but they stay the level that they are, and the higher the level, the better they are. The level 30 inventions are about as good as an SO, so I usually don't bother making them or slotting them. Except for this tutorial, I don't bother making them or slotting them until 30th level. So I usually use SOs at 25. At level 22, I get level 25 single origins. Then after level 27, as we start getting the level 30 and above invention origin ones, I will slot them in as I get them. I usually don't buy them, although you almost always have to buy the endurance modification ones because those never drop, or they're very rarely drop. Oh wait, I have to read the syllabus. I know this story arc too much, and I'm getting ahead of myself. Read the syllabus. It's not actually a syllabus, it's a course catalog, but that's okay. Because the syllabus is for a single course. And this is telling you what courses you're having with different instructors. So that's not a syllabus, that's a course catalog. Okay. Research salvage in the bookcase. Come back and talk to him. Retrieve supplies. So we're going to have a quick mission in the dorms. So this is the council. Hey guys. Double miss again. And is it me, or did we once again do an assassin strike and miss the very next shot? I should keep track of how many times it happens. That's once out of 1. 2 out of 2. There's a glowy here somewhere. Now just keep in mind when you do that, it cancels hide. Okay, so we're going to need to take this off because we're draining endurance too fast. Oh, actually, that's because of super jump. So, all right, so that's 2 out of 2. Let's try this. Two out of 3. Another double miss. So what people used to complain about in City of Heroes was streakiness, right? You could go through a mission, never miss anybody, and then you have another mission, and all you're doing is missing 3 and 4 times in a row. And yes, you do expect that to sometimes happen just by random chance, but it seemed like it was happening to too many players too much of the time. And I've got a whole rant about that, so if you want to watch it, it's one of the Silver Phoenix ones. What are we doing here? Who are we talking to? This guy. But yeah, I talk about how it seems like the miss streaks are autocorrelated. The results of your rolls are autocorrelated, where a high roll tends to lead to another high roll, and a low roll tends to lead to another low roll. And that would explain the streakiness. And it's very hard to test for that without proper data, so I've never been able to actually test to see if it's autocorrelated, but I suspect that it is. And I think it's all based on the random number generator and how, random number generators aren't truly random, and so then you sometimes get this situation where a high number causes another high number to be chosen, and that sort of thing. Using the computer, it's going to tell us about the different types of rewards and stuff. And we're going to accept a level 10 accuracy. And then we're going to build the enhancement at the enhancement table. Oh, shoot, no, I don't want to buy it, I want to create it. Here we go. And then we go back to her. And be introduced to a new contact. And this guy up here. And then view the enhancement information. And then go back to, back to him. Okay. Click on contact, which is a lot of what this arc is, but it's there for tutorial purposes, so it can't be too picky. And then we go to the guidance counselor, who tells us to read the bulletin board about Wentworths, which you don't actually need anymore because you can do the auction house by typing AH, right? But it used to be that you had to go to Wentworths. I'm done, right? Okay. So do I have to go to anybody else? Okay, I don't think so. So we're done. Oh, yes, we earned the inventor badge. So there is a badge to be earned. So if we go outside, if you're not going to use the AH command, the place to go to the auction house is Wentworth's, which is right here. And there are several of them around the city. There's one in Alice Park. There's one in Kings Row. The vendor guys here are the same thing as if you type AH, right? But then you can also come over here to the reward merits person. And if you look up enhancements, archetype origin enhancements, and then you pick your archetype, we are stalkers. There are 2 sets of enhancements that require reward merits, and only reward merits. And they're about 600 reward merits. They are 600 reward merits each. And these things are for your archetype. So if you use your reward merits, we have 6. We're going to need 600, so we need a lot more for this one, and then this one, and you put them in your powers. My experience is it takes until around level 40 to get enough reward merits to do both of those. I think you can get one of them in the late 30s and then one of them in the early 40s, something like that. So, unless you're doing something to farm reward merits, which I don't, if you're just playing story arcs as you go through leveling up, it takes a while to do because you only get a few reward merits per mission, per story arc, and the number of reward merits you get goes up. So we got 6 for defeating Chernobog. If we do Bonefire at level, let's say 12, we might get like 11 or 7 or 9 reward merits. You get a few more. And if you do Vajalok at level 19, you might get like 15 reward merits. And if you do, Scroll to Electro at level 27, you might get like 25 reward merits. So it goes up. I don't know the exact numbers. It goes up a little bit as you go. If you want to farm it, then what you do is we could now go into Ouroboros if we could get in there. We could go into Ouroboros, which is where the flashback missions are, and we could just keep redoing the Chernobog story arc and getting 6 merits, 6 merits, 6 merits. You could turn the experience off and just farm it like that, and then, at 11th level, we could have 600 reward merits. I don't want to do that story arc 100 times, so I don't do things like that, but that is possible. You won't see me doing that. All right, I think we're going to stop here, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I had a lot of fun with this. Until next time, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been Soloing the Stalker on City of Heroes.